On the news, state government suspends market activities in central Lagos following Dosumu market fire incident. 2 persons plunge into Lagos Lagoon after accident on 3rd Mainland Bridge. And Tinubu joins prayers in Lagos as Muslim faithful mark Eid al-Fitr. Hello and welcome to News Now on TV 360 Nigeria. I'm Simisola Adigun. Over 14 buildings have been destroyed in a fire incident at Dosumu Market in the Lagos Island area of the Nigerian commercial city of Lagos. The fire, which began early Tuesday, affected several shops, leading to the destruction of goods worth millions of naira. Eyewitnesses said the fire started at a 3-story building on Jankara Street before spreading to other adjoining buildings in the market. Our correspondent, Sydney Okafor, has the story.
The fire wreaked serious havoc on the market, spreading very quickly from one building to several others. By the time the State Emergency Management Agency was able to bring the situation under control, around 14 buildings had been razed down.
When this incident occurred, this fire disaster occurred, we activated our emergency response. All the key stakeholders that are important in managing emergency moved to the ground. We are able to curtail the fire, but however, the fire has affected 14 buildings, and all these buildings were subjected to material testing. Anyone that failed, we will pull them to ground zero for stability. We need to be emphatic about this. The state government has taken ownership of this place since the incident occurred. We are doing everything that is humanly possible for safety of life and property.
Eyewitnesses say the fire began while a businessman in one of the buildings was attempting to refuel a running generator.
I have shop and package store there. All of them got burned and fall down. What I'm begging to the government is that this thing don't happen more than never these 3 weeks where the other one burned for front there. And something like this, up to 4 buildings collapse. This one up to, I can't count them because I just come back this morning. I traveled. I just come back this morning. We witnessed all this thing. All the market get burned, all the goods, all the money inside package store. Not only me, many of us, many people. So we are begging on government to know what they can do. This thing is getting out of hand.
It's terrible. But what we explained that yesterday, when that thing started, it started at the beginning, at Fence House. So we are watching now, nobody know that it will affect everybody. So before we know, maybe it's fuel, then just through from that up to that. That's what created everything. But it's by this side, first building by this side. That's where it started. So but because of that fuel, or I don't know, just fire just got everywhere.
The government has not shut the market, declaring the area a disaster zone. Commercial activities have also been suspended in the area.
This being we had trained fire marshals that we have been trying for the past 2 years for them to nominate 2 or 3, 4, 5 people for us to train them so that when fire starts, they can easily handle it before statutory agencies gets there. But you know the latitude, oh God forbid this and this. We introduced insurance company about 4 or 5 years ago. Only few of them bought into the policy, later they withdrew. These are the issues that are affecting us today.
This is the latest in a series of fire incidents in the state in recent times. Authorities say they are going to conduct an in-depth investigation to find out the cause. They also says they are working on course of implementing strict regulations, especially in the city's markets, to prevent similar tragedies from occurring in the future. Sydney Okafor, TV 360, Lagos.
Two passengers on a commercial bus have plunged into the lagoon at the Third Mainland Bridge in Lagos after the bus lost control and rammed into the guardrail of the bridge. Other passengers on the bus were seriously injured. Emergency responders are still searching the water in the area for the missing passengers. The accident created serious traffic gridlock on the busy bridge, which was only reopened recently after several months of repair work. The bus was suspected to be on high speed when it lost control.
We saw a truck that was just going about like James Bond on the road. It is not good. We are supposed to maintain lane discipline. If we had maintained lane discipline and keep braking distance to the vehicle ahead of us, I don't think all this thing will happen. And as a matter of fact, if you adhere to normal speed limits that have been prescribed to be used on this mainland bridge, Third Mainland Bridge, then I don't think all this will be happening. But people want to fly. And I want to let people know that our roads are not relay race. Our roads are not where we do competition. Our road is not where we can show strength. It's, whenever we are on the road, we are supposed to take it easy. It is whoever takes it easy that knows how to drive. But when we are trying to fly, when we are trying to, drive like James Bond on the road, it does not speak well of us. It does not show that we know how to drive. A good driver is the person that drives from point A to point B successfully without having any issue.
The vehicle ran into the barrier by the side of the Third Mainland Bridge, and of course, that pushed it back. However, two people who were not well guarded were plunged into the lagoon. Two adults, one male and one female. So, however, the victims that sustained different level of injury have been quickly rushed to the hospital, general hospital, for that treatment. And then, of course, the police have taken the custody of the. But then the two people that are adults that are plunged into the lagoon, the next phase of the emergency operation is a search and rescue on the waterway, which of course NIWA and Marine Police is taking a lead on that.
As Muslim faithful in Nigeria celebrate Eid al-Fitr with the rest of the world, signaling the end of the one-month Ramadan fast, President Bola Tinubu has appealed to Nigerians to continue to show resilience and patriotism as the nation navigates socio-economic challenges. Tinubu made the appeal while addressing journalists after the Eid al-Fitr prayers at the Eid ground at the Dodan Barracks in Lagos, encouraging Muslims celebrating the conclusion of Ramadan to extend the values of sacrifice and resilience beyond the fasting period. The president says the renewed hope agenda of his administration aimed at bringing prosperity to Nigerians is being diligently implemented. Also speaking, Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Obafemi Hamzat, urged Muslims to be tolerant and empathetic towards one another.
Kind of resilience, sacrifice, endurance that we have, we should preserve that for the country. Be kind and be cheerful giver. Love our country better than any other country. That's the only one that we have. And we must continue to protect the integrity of our government and leadership. The new hope is alive, well and fine, and Nigerians will continue to be very hopeful. Without hope, there's no salvation. Without hope, there's no development. Without hope, there's no life.
As Muslims, we must show empathy to fellow Muslims, Christians, non-believers. It's not for us to judge. Even our prophets, showed empathy to everybody. So we have no business fighting anyone. Let us have religious harmony. Let us behave well so that we can do the right things.
Well, to speak more on the significance of Eid al-Fitr, I'm now joined by the Imam at Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat in Ogudu, Abibulayi Arayemi. Thank you for your time, sir. Now, how important is Eid al-Fitr in Islam, and what's the significance of the day?
Thank you, Excellence. Good evening, everyone. My name is Habibullah Arayemi. I am serving as an Imam of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat Mosque in Ogudu. According to the Quran, every religion has its own celebration. And the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ has said that in Islam, we do have 3 celebrations. We have one which is Eid al-Fitr, that is the celebration we do have whenever we complete a 30-day or 29 days fast. While the second Eid is the Eid al-Adha, which was being traced down to the time of Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, that is Abraham, who sacrificed his son Ismail for the sake of Allah the Almighty. And after they had returned back from Arafah, on the second day we are meant to slaughter ram and celebrate among ourselves. While the third celebration in Islam is Yawm al-Jum'ah, that is the day of prayer, the Jum'ah prayer. It is also a celebration in Islam. These are the 3 celebrations that we do have in Islam. So talking about the celebration of fasting, which we call Eid al-Fitr, this celebration comes after a rigorous training. And I call it a kind of training ground because Allah the Almighty has trained us for this whole 30 days or 29 days. Because it's either we fast 29 days or we fast for 30 days. This is a spiritual month where we purify ourselves, we connect ourselves to the Creator, Allah the Almighty, where we deprive ourselves of worldly activities by obeying Allah the Almighty solemnly in this month of Ramadan. So after completing 30 days fast or 29-day fast, every Muslim is expected to celebrate on the first day of Shawwal, that is the following month after Ramadan, where we celebrate with ourselves by starting the day with Eid, that is going to the prayer ground, observing prayer to Allah the Almighty, and listening to sermon delivered by Imams across the world. This is one of the benefits of the Eid al-Fitr in the life of a Muslim.
Right now, so amid the current economic challenges bedeviling Nigeria, how do we relate the virtues of Eid al-Fitr to our daily lives?
Yeah, thank you so much. According to the Quran and the Sunnah, that is the practice of Muhammad, peace of Allah be upon him, he said that one of the benefits of Ramadan is that we should know that this will deprive us or stop or shield us away from sin. And one of the sin mentioned by the Quran and Sunnah of Muhammad Sallam is what we know as corruption. Is what we know as a Muslim having no mercy, merciless. The Quran emphasized that as Muslims, we need to be compassionate. We need to share love. If you have one thing, Islam permits you to divide into 2 and share it with people around you, which means in narrating this or in putting this in the economic issue of the country, this showcases that Muslims, as we are fasting this Ramadan and we are sharing things among people, after Ramadan, we do not do that, or before Ramadan, we do not do that. We are only take concern of our own selves. We do not consider the people around us, which make those who are rich to become more richer, while those who are poor become more poorer. In Islam, if the rich are spending on the poor, and the poor to appreciate whatever they have, and are looking for means to enlarge their wealth in a rightful manner, I believe Nigeria should be better than this. But rather is the other case, where Muslims who are non-Muslims self, who are rich, they do not want to spend their wealth for people. And those who are poor too, they are looking for ways to find money at all costs, which is not the best for Islam. Islam encourages us that by the rich spending for the poor, this will ensure that wealth is being circulated across the country. So for those Muslims who are in one authority or the other, we need to follow the teaching of Quran and the Sunnah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Charge Nigerians on resilience and patriotism as well at this time. Imam at Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat Ogudu Abibulayi Arayemi, thank you very much for speaking with us. There was pandemonium in Gusau, the Zamfara state capital, on Wednesday as personnel of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps (NDCDC) allegedly shot and killed a woman while attempting to pursue hoodlums. The tragic accident incident, which occurred while Muslim faithful gathered to observe Eid prayers, has sparked outrage and unrest among residents, leading to an escalation of tensions in the area. According to eyewitnesses' accounts, the NDCDC officers were chasing suspected hoodlums armed with dangerous weapons when they fired shots indiscriminately, inadvertently striking the victim. Meanwhile, spokesperson of the State Police, ASP Yazid Abubakar, confirmed the incident and the arrest of 2 NDCDC personnel involved in the tragic event. In politics, the Labour Party has countered the recent move by the Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) sacking the Julius Abure-led National Working Committee, saying the Congress lacks the power to decide the affairs of the party. The NLC Stakeholders Commission had passed a vote of no confidence on the March 27 National Convention of the Labour Party, where Julius Abure was re-elected as the chairman of the party. The Labour Union had also said it had approved the constitution of a transition committee under the leadership of its political commission to manage the affairs of the party in the interim. Reacting to the development in a statement, National Publicity Secretary of the Labour Party, Obiora Ifo, says the Labour Union's group of stakeholders is not recognized by the party. He warned the NLC against hijacking the political platform, saying it lacked the power to sack the Julius Abure National Working Committee. The recent increase in electricity tariff by the Nigerian government has elicited mixed reactions from the public. The tariff hike, which saw rates soar from 68 naira per kilowatt hour to 225 naira, has sparked concerns about its impact on essential public services. The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission implemented the tariff increase, primarily affecting Band A customers. While the Commission has justified the increment as necessary, many Nigerians worry about the burden it places on businesses already facing economic challenges. TV360's correspondent Chidegwe files in the report. The electricity tariff hike is one of the biggest points of discussion in the country at the moment. The hike targets Band A customers who are mainly in urban areas and enjoy at least 20 hours of electricity supply daily. They represent 15% of the 12 million electricity consumers getting power supply from the national grid. They will now have to pay about 300% more of what they used to pay for electricity. It's a lot of money, but the head of the country's electricity regulator says it is still cheaper than other alternatives.
Diesel today goes at the rate of 1,500, 1,600 or 1,000, depending on where you live. So in a liter of diesel, you can only get the maximum of 3 kilowatts. So if you look at the fuel cost, that is diesel cost alone, for you to get 1 unit of electricity, 1 kilowatt, you are already into 500, 550. So when you now have had the cost of the generator itself, you amortize it over a number of years, you add it to it, you have the maintenance cost, is way more than what the Band A, what the 225 is.
But electricity consumers and business operators have frowned at the hike in the tariff, saying the increment is counterproductive amid the current economic realities.
I think for now we should just, deal with the subsidy for now. That's enough load to carry us, Nigerians. The governments on their own are struggling to deal with the increment of minimum wage. So right now you're forcing me to go with an increment in the fuel subsidy. You're also adding the tariff increase for Band A users. So there's too many load to carry at this one time, So I think the government should take it a bit easy and look for means. I'm not a master at this, economic, but as a business person, the end users will suffer for it. And if they're not careful, a lot of us will go out of business and we may end up shutting business. And that's, what the government really don't need at this point in time.
The purchase has been low. So if I get to add more money to this, how would I sell it? Because already it's all expensive and we all know that. So if I'm to add it from 5 naira to 10 naira, would you buy it? It's really not helping. There's lights, yeah, but the tariff is not helping the business. It's really not helping the business.
Some energy experts, however, argue that the hike is about appropriate pricing for electricity and that the new pricing will ensure better investment in the power sector and bring about better supply.
If they say 15%, let them pay as much as possible, as close to the cost of production and this transmission and distribution of the energy that they are consuming. I don't think there's anything wrong in that. And in fact, I was joking on X, on the social media recently, where I was saying, 15% of the rich are being asked to pay for what they are consuming. They are the ones that are kicking. Now, the poor people are also now joining them to kick. Who is doing who?
We expect that everybody gets metered and they are sure that they are actually getting what they paid for, right? And that it's fair to everyone, regardless of the band you're in. You've consumed power for of a certain amount, of a certain wattage, then pay for it, and we'll all be fine by that. What's the best timing? We all agree that this has to be taken away at some point for us to have a fair system for everyone, and for even the investors to do well, and for us to have a blossoming power sector.
Nigeria has for long battled a perennial electricity crisis. Power supply has always been epileptic as unpaid government subsidy piles up to record level. The government says it is now determined to address the age-old problem by cutting its subsidy on the sector by about half, while gradually transiting to a regime of cost-reflective tariff. As that happens, consumers will feel the pinch by way of increased electricity spending, but as the government has said, better power supply. We'll go for a break, but still to come, FIFA congratulates Super Falcons on Olympic qualification. Stay with us for details. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back. Let's take you through our top stories. Over 14 buildings have been destroyed in a fire incident at Dosumu Market in the Lagos Island area of the Nigerian commercial city of Lagos. The fire, which began early Tuesday, affected several shops, leading to the destruction of goods worth millions of naira. Eyewitnesses say the fire started at a 3-story building on Jankara Street before spreading to other adjoining buildings in the market. We also told you that President Bola Tinubu has appealed to Nigerians to continue to show resilience and patriotism as Muslim faithful in Nigeria celebrates Eid al-Fitr, signaling the end of the one-month Ramadan fast. Tinubu made the appeal while addressing journalists at the Eid ground at the Dodan Barracks in Lagos, where he joined other Muslim faithful for prayers, encouraging Muslims celebrating the conclusion of Ramadan to extend the values of sacrifice and resilience beyond the fasting period. The president says the renewed hope agenda of his administration aimed at bringing prosperity to Nigerians is being diligently implemented. Now, in case you missed any of our news bulletins or for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV and AVO TV, or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery, and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. Welcome back. Let's now join Joy Uchejim, who's on standby with business news. Over to you, Joy.
Thank you, Simi. Now, in a significant step towards enhancing transparency and accountability, the World Bank has introduced a framework comprising 22 indicators to measure the outcomes of its development efforts. According to Managing Director of Operations at the World Bank, Anna Jerdy, the scorecard would enable shareholders and beneficiaries to efficiently observe, gauge, and monitor the effects of the bank's financial support and assistance. Jerdy added that the bank wants to give a closer look at development outcomes by adopting a more people-centric approach. That's it on business news. Back to you, Simi.
Thank you very much, Joy. And on the foreign scene, a South African court has ruled that former President Jacob Zuma can run for office in the country's upcoming general election, overturning an earlier decision that barred him from contesting the polls. The Electoral Court decision on Tuesday paves the way for Zuma to run for president on behalf of the MK Party, a political organization that he joined last year after denouncing the governing African National Congress party where he once led. The Electoral Commission had earlier ruled that Zuma could not run for office due to his criminal record after it received an objection to his candidacy. South Africa is to hold its general election on May 29 in what is expected to be the most competitive vote since the advent of democracy in 1994. And on sports, World Football Governing Body FIFA has congratulated Nigeria's Super Falcons for qualifying for the Paris 2024 Olympic Games following a defensive performance in the second leg clash against South Africa. The Super Falcons edged out Bayana in a goalless draw in Pretoria on Tuesday, April 9, sealing a 1-0 aggregate win after the victory in the first leg in Abuja on Friday, April 5. With this triumph, the Super Falcons have earned a spot as one of Africa's representatives at the upcoming 2024 Olympics in Paris, where they will feature in Group C. Well, that's all on news now. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.